No. There it is. All right. Um, I was invited to this talk because in COVID, I decided to do a degree in diving. It was something which was launched by the Institute of Tourism Studies in Malta. And then, you know, in COVID, we had little to do. I was really bored and I got into this BSc. And this degree enabled me to study an industry which I really love, which is diving. My thesis, which is published, analyzes the current state of the scuba diving industry and how we are training people and bringing them into it. I went into a data-driven model, and I presented the results of the study in a way which enables us to start the transformation of the industry itself. Who am I to come over here and talk about the diving business? My background, I am a techie by background, but I decided to study management largely and international regulatory affairs. So diving has always been my hobby. I've been a diver since I was 17. Nowadays, I'm a DAN instructor, a diving safety officer on deep record dives, and TDI SDI instructor. And I dive 3-4 times a week at least. So I do keep myself in the water, you know, I'm not only an office guy. On a regular basis, though, I earn my money from a completely different place. So I am a management consultant, the director of a consulting firm, a partner in an engineering firm, and we specialize in transaction advisory, which is basically turning around businesses, growing them, restructuring them, and pumping in the money and selling them when their owners get bored of them. I want to go into the industry and its current state. The model which the industry has adopted is a 1970s pyramid model, okay? It's still dominant, and in my opinion, it has little innovation. Major commercial agencies, PADI, SSI, SDI, lead the market, so they have done a brilliant job at spreading the commercial part. And it is a high volume, low margin, entry-level training model. So the more people you bring in, the better, and it starts from the very bottom. It's resource heavy, as we all know. Diving is very intense, and it has a level of diminishing returns. So the more you pump in, it doesn't necessarily mean that the quality is going to go up. The common perceptions, which I built by researching a number of dive centers locally and abroad, as well as forums, online articles, etc., is that there is a declining participation, and there is declining revenue in this business. What normally happens when the money goes down is quality goes down with it, okay? This is normally directly proportional. Unfortunately, in diving, this also means safety concerns. There also seems to be a lower appeal for younger people. Now, this is seriously worrying. And there is a professional dissatisfaction from limited income. So something the people before me were talking about, you know, about being full-time in the industry and taking a cut and being happy about taking a cut. I disagree completely, okay? Completely. And the reason is because I do not believe that people should take a cut, okay, to be happy. They should be making enough money to be happy and to switch from one industry to another and remain financially fulfilled. If we had to look at some numbers, I'm comparing PADI's EMEA accounts 2024 against 2023. 2014 versus 2023 over here. And we can see that more or less the turnover, the revenue, has remained the same. But at the bottom, what's being left has changed significantly. So in 9 years, PADI lost about 80% of its margin. last night while I was eating with the speakers, my business partner, who's somewhere over here in the floor, there he is, was working the numbers of 2024. What are they, Andrew?
2023 audited figures from Paddy EMEA Europe's accounts. Revenue figure 29.7 million, 2024 28.7 million. A revenue decrease of 3%. However, the operating profit 2023 1,006,000. However, for 2024 the net profit was only 437,000, a decrease of 60%, more than half.
So you have it, okay? Irrespective of what we talk over here, we have one of the most significant diving agencies which is struggling to produce net margin. It's producing revenue, but it's not producing net margin. We have some data from other training agencies, but most of them are covered by LLCs, so we cannot really get into the detail. I'd love to get into the detail. The central problem of the thesis was that the business is shrinking fast, okay? People are talking about it, it's shrinking. And I tried to develop a statistically backed model to redesign the business. You know, not just talk, but actual facts, numbers. I went into the assessment using McCarthy's 4P. So anyone that studied a bit of business school knows this model, okay? 4 Ps. The first one is the product. What is our product over here? Our product is the multi-tiered certification model, okay? We all know it. Many, many certifications. You roll on many students, and then you roll on students into little microscopic courses and charge them every time, and every time, and every time, and every time. And the market is suffering a lot of changes in the way and challenges. And because of that, there is some published data. It's not very visible over here, but there is less stickiness with training agencies. The attachment to training agencies is shifting very, very fast. So over here, you can actually see that Paddy is declining very seriously, while some other agencies like Dan are going up really fast, TDI is going up really fast, etc. But we are just shifting volumes over here, okay? They're going from one side to another. The competence versus minimum standards, which the industry is based upon, okay? The ISO is, we have the foundation of diving, we have body position, kicking, buoyancy, breathing, etc. Require multiple dives, okay? It's not easy to get a diver. So it's not 10 dives which makes a good diver, and we all know this, but this is how we certify people. We need to find a way how to certify people when there are 50 to 100 dives. Fewer instructors, fewer students, and there are cases where we are leading to certifications without mastery of a skill. The average demographic is that divers are around 43 years old, okay, right now. So this is what it's like. This is by then. The boom years are past us. The years when the diving instructor was doing a lot of money was 80s and 90s. Now they definitely don't make a lot of money. And the product itself that we're talking about is a pre-internet design, okay? It's the book, which has been transformed into an online, okay? But it's still a product of the past. You need to remember that that product is competing against Udemy, Masterclass, and all this stuff. Okay? That's some serious competition. The price, 3 key problems. You have standardized ISOs, which define the course. You have an outdated model, which is 30 years old, and all the material that we are selling to students is available online, free. Free, you can find it, okay? All these manuals, which the training agencies guard so carefully, okay? You can download them, you can find them, everyone can find them. And there's YouTube, which is much better at teaching people. So you do find the material over here and the clips and everything, and we are still teaching some old things. So like the emergency swimming ascent, which Dan has proven to be risky, and you still teach it to divers. So the financial viability, when we're talking about diving instructors, the median, from my research, the median is anywhere between 10 to 25 euro an hour. That's peanuts, okay? You don't make a living with that, at least not in my country. And when we're talking on the high ground, these are specialized divers, okay? These are technical instructors who are selling their service on their own, not attached to anything else, not employees. So it is unsuitable for a lifestyle, okay, to become a diving instructor. The profits are skewed between diving centers, agencies, and instructors. The model is not balanced. Training hours are too short, schedules are compressed, and the rushed certifications are leading onto divers not being attached to the sports. In Malta, by way of example, I'll pick on my own country, we have 50 centers in 29 kilometers. Okay, we're a diving haven, but 50 diving centers is unsustainable. Many of them run with 2 to 3 staff, and it's a price war, of course, because the only competition left, since everything is standard, and you cannot really advertise quality of an instructor right now, is price war, reduce the cost. That's why SSI seem to be making more money. The place, I couldn't understand where the place of diving is. And I ended up like Alice in Wonderland with the Cheshire Cat, where she asks, where do I go? The Cheshire Cat says, you can choose any road you want because you don't know where you want to go. And this is where we are right now. Dive centers, minimal impact. Instructors have an impact, but they are not the place of diving. There are quality gaps. We do not enforce the standards, and there is no mandatory continuing education, okay? We do not force instructors to keep on learning. What do training agencies do not do? They do not audit their instructors for quality, okay? They certify them, but they don't audit them. I would like to see a training agency audit on a continuous basis, just like we do in other professions, okay, the quality of the output. And it requires a framework for that, so it's not a question of just doing it commercially. There is no contribution to the advancement of diving science, so apart from a couple of agencies which we are aware of, which do publish, like DAN and GOE, and training agencies do not recognize academic achievements over here. So if Professor Constantino Ballestra were to apply for a nitrox course, they wouldn't consider his background in medicine, for example, and he would still have to pass through the certification process. And if you look, all the nice courses are all aligned and very, very similar. It's not very clear on this PowerPoint, but the basic requirements of the course is the same. Dive centers, their model has remained the same. They attract customers who try scuba diving, then they try to sell gear at them, and then they give them additional trips where they have to grow. You want to go do the rec, then you need to do rec course, okay? It hasn't changed. What is this leading us to? The place seems to be moving towards the instructor, okay? The place of diving seems to be the instructor. The individual quality of the instructor, the dive center facility, and the support makes a difference, but unfortunately our instructor is working underpaid, 6 days a week, high responsibility, and post-COVID, most of them, at least in my country, have discovered that it's better to go and find another job, which pays a lot more, and you do less. So instructors are unfortunately seen only as a revenue stream to training agencies. They see them as primarily as clients to sell more courses to them, you know, and to level up by selling more courses. So a paddy courts director needs to sell 250 certifications, 50 continuity. When I counted it, it came up to about 30,000 euro. Needs to sell 30,000 euro to level up, okay? It doesn't say how many happy students he had, how many good Google reviews he had. No, how many did you sell? The place urgently needs attention. instructor availability has gone off, independent professionals are on the increase, and they are treating it as a gig, okay? As a gig. Operating costs are rising, and market concentration is destroying the market concentration is going away. The niche dive centers are destroying the bigger ones, okay? It's not what we need in the business, in any business. We need a fundamental shift. The promotion. Paddy's data says that the average entry diver is 27 to 30. That's too late, okay? That's too late. And they're college educated, so we're at a higher level, and somehow they got that split. It's really precise. I don't know how they got it. Dive travelers, 33 to 55 years old, high income, well-educated, health conscious. You have it all over here. Here you're talking of pure white collar, but the younger generations have limited disposable income, have shortened attention spans, okay, and have competing demands. They have a lot of pressure, and these are the people we need. And if you look at what the Business of Diving Institute published over here, we have a 12% decline in we have a 12% increase in casual divers, so people that do DSDs and all that stuff, and 5% less in core divers. These are probably, they've died out, or, you know, are not healthy enough, but they're decreasing since we're getting older. The results of the survey, 28 items questioned, a lot of feedback from the British-speaking countries. We had some very strong representations from US, Malta probably because people know me. I use descriptive statistics. I won't bore you with the stats itself, but I'm going to try and summarize it. 379 diving professionals replied to the survey from 30 countries with a 95% confidence in the data which we presented in the study. The mix of instructors, dive center operators, industry stakeholders, all of them, ranges of experience from novice to veteran. There were a number of diving agencies which participated in it, so there was the real concentration of one of them. Most of the respondents were experienced divers. Their professional experience reflected 71% of them had more than 5 years participating in this business, so they are working in it. And the entry-level ones were between 25 to 40, so these are probably the guys who say, I've had enough of my office job, and I'm going to go and live my dream, okay? Careful before you live your dream, all right? Careful. Have a chat with me. We have an aging workforce, and if you guys haven't noticed it, guys, all instructors look like me with white hair. Weak recruitment, in Malta at least, the organizing body, the association, is struggling to find instructors, really struggling. And we have a risk that the veterans leave this business and they leave with their knowledge. The product redesign, the findings that we found is that most professionals believe the current model is repetitive, so always repeating the same stuff in the courses. Despite the issues, they think that the model is still valued, probably because they don't know better. You know, we haven't presented something better. There is a large variance in the data, so they agree, but there is variance, you know, throughout the statistics. The findings over here is that there is a very weak link between the amount of training they are being delivered and how good as divers they are. Are they really good or not? Okay, and also the skill-by-skill method which we promote, okay, remove the mask, remove the regulator, put the regulator back in, tick, 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 isn't working well, okay? It's not what an instructor wants. So the training needs to focus on the competence of the diver, the general competence of the diver, which is very different from the current model being loaded. We need to concentrate on the training hours if we want to improve this. We need to focus on professional attachment, and we need to understand what is obsolete, okay, in the materials of the product. I want to reimagine the pricing model, and the way I tested it supported that most professionals see a lot of benefit in long-term attachment. So what they are saying, the instructors, the professionals in this business is, the longer you're attached to me, the better as a diver I can make you, okay? Subscription models, which is something I put out over there. Guys, let's do a Shopify for diving, okay? There was a moderate support for recurrent payments, mainly moderate because they think of it in a short bracket course, okay? 4 days, 2 days, whatever. Pay-as-you-go training, credits with one particular instructor, you know, which are transportable, or maybe transportable over to different countries. I think they didn't really understand what I was asking over here, because I should have got a bit more support, since most of the things we're doing today are on subscription models. And mentorship pricing. So there is a direct link with pricing on your skill level, okay? So as your skills go up, you don't keep on paying the same amount, because you are matching the person that is teaching you. There are strong interdependencies between the ongoing mentorship and committed divers. So this really has the power to boost commitment and retention. The flexible models, subscriptions, etc., require more detail. The place, instructor quality, everyone emphasizes on it. So this is 3.47 out of 4. Nearly everyone believes in it, nearly everyone. Agency relevance is going down, even within the professional community. This is even more worrying, okay? This means instructors are not attached. Dive centers seem to be becoming logistical bases. So dive centers are only seen as places where you fill your cylinders and meet people, okay? And take your gear, nothing else. So there is no real attachment with the dive center itself. Youth, when I tested it, I tested if professionals are interested in educational integration, so it's part of the curriculum. I tested if they see mental health as being part of it, not only the environment as well, reducing the cost of diving and financial access. The means was there was a very strong support to have environmental and well-being benefits. So this is feedback which is coming from the industry, and the instructors are telling us, please put it in, find a way. Inclusivity, another thing which came out, so the way we do things, the social good, you know, that we are participating in the community. And the digital community, you know, why don't we start creating a Tinder for diving? We're not talking about relationships here. We're creating an attachment between each other, okay? So the youth focus is obviously to bring in a lifetime commitment with the youth. My final notes, this is what I want to continue studying as a business researcher. I want to find a way how to consolidate dive center business and operations. I want to improve their efficiency through aggressive M&As. Okay, this is, your business is dying and I will join you. Okay, it's the only way we're going to make it together. I would like to see training agencies introduce professional warrants. And this would be at a national level, of course, because you need government support, where a diving instructor is of a certain level, then he gets a warrant. He is recognized to be a top person. I would like to see a way how to integrate vertically and horizontally the leading brands, you know. The manufacturers are suffering as well, and the only way we're going to solve this is exactly how the automotive industry did. Now we have 5 automotive companies mainly, and they're all integrated together. And even there, they are struggling. And my favorite one, which is the one I want to do first, is set up a credit institution for diving businesses, okay, where we are going to release money to people that want to join the diving business. So they don't need to go to a bank. I want to do what Dan did to insurance for credit finance, okay? So we make it easily accessible for somebody to take 5,000 euro, go to a certified, warranted diving professional, and they follow a path which is 3 years long with equipment and all. And that will revolutionize the way that the money flows through the business. The publication is online. I want to thank my supervisors, Simon Caruana, who is over here, and Dr. Alessandro Marroni, who was the co-reviewer of the thesis. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm here for the next few days, and that's my email address. Thank you very much.
Thank you.